Welcome back. Let's get a wrap-up of the international news. Simon Pusey standing by with Around the World in 5.
Good evening from the Channel's newsroom here in London. The United States has warned it's prepared to take military action in Venezuela if required. Thousands of people have again turned out to support Juan Guaido, who's declared himself the legitimate leader of the country, a day after President Nicolas Maduro said he defeated an attempted military coup. Another day and yet more protests on the streets of Caracas. Venezuela's president says an attempted coup has been defeated, but Juan Guaido is far from giving up. The opposition leader has called for more demonstrations, claiming Nicolas Maduro has lost control. There have been days of violence in Venezuela, but this is a conflict that stretches beyond the borders of the South American country. Russia and China support Maduro's government. European states and America recognize Juan Guaido as leader. And the international war of words is truly underway.
This is our hemisphere. It's not where the Russians ought to be interfering. This is a mistake on their part. It's not going to lead to an improvement of relations. I think Maduro is now surrounded by scorpions in a bottle, and it's only a matter of time.
Russia has responded, saying aggressive steps would come with grave consequences. Maduro claims he has military support, but members of the army have turned.
He's my legitimate president from here on out. Whatever happens, I'm going to follow him to death.
But the 56-year-old leader does have support of his own. This a counter-rally urging Venezuelans to back the president. The UN has appealed for both sides to avoid violence. With so much anger, peace right now seems the least likely outcome. Tens of thousands of demonstrators have gathered in countries around the world to mark International May Day. In Paris, hooded and masked activists scuffled with riot police and tear gas was fired in a bid to disperse the crowds. The French capital has endured 5 months of destructive behaviour by groups of yellow vest protesters unhappy with the policies of President Emmanuel Macron and his government. In Turkey, more than 100 people were detained by police accused of attempting to hold illegal demonstrations across Istanbul. Police cordoned off Taksim Square, which was home to May Day rallies until 1977. Red carnations were waved during a demonstration outside the Greek parliament in Athens. The country's former finance minister, Yanis Varoufakis, was there to support the crowds.
This is an ongoing struggle against the avarice and audacity of capitalism, especially in a country like this, which is the victim of financialized capitalism, and we have a permanent depression.
There was a huge turnout in South Korea. Workers congregated in Seoul Square, calling for the temporary workers system to be abolished, the minimum daily wage to be raised, and international labour organization conventions to be ratified. In the Philippines, activists burnt an effigy of President Rodrigo Duterte and marched along Manila's main avenue in their effort to secure better pay and labour practices. New images have emerged showing the devastation caused by Cyclone Kenneth in Mozambique. Aid workers say many remote areas and small islands are still waiting for supplies, almost a week after the tropical storm hit. The government says more than 40 people were killed, but that figure is expected to rise. The WikiLeaks founder, Julian Assange, has been jailed for 50 weeks for breaching bail conditions. In court, the 47-year-old read out a letter of regret, apologising unreservedly, he said, to those who consider they've been disrespected. In sentencing, the judge said by hiding in Ecuador's London embassy for almost 7 years, he deliberately put himself out of reach of the authorities, costing taxpayers £16 million.
This sentencing here today is an outrage, and it's vindictive in nature, and it doesn't give us a lot of faith in the UK justice system for the fights ahead.
A huge tornado has been caught on camera barreling through southern Romania. The twister was caught on a dash cam as it swirled through fields, picking up a tower of dust, travelling at an estimated speed of 90 kilometers per hour. Weather experts say the rare event was caused by a cold front from Bulgaria colliding with warmer air in Romania. And finally, a bird's eye view, or more accurately, a view of a bird's eye. A seagull has become somewhat of a star after posing for a close-up on a traffic camera. Transport for London says there are 2 birds who make regular stops, so much so they've named them Graham and Steve. The gulls have now gone viral, generating thousands of likes. And that's your international news around the world in 5.
In sports news, South African athlete Caster Semenya and her lawyers are considering contesting the dismissal of her appeal by the Court of Arbitration for Sport against the introduction of the IAAF of rules to limit testosterone in female athletes with differences in sexual development. The Court of Arbitration for Sport ruled that the IAAF regulations are needed to ensure fair competition between athletes who compete in events ranging from the 400 meters to a mile. The Olympic 800-meter champion said the decision of the CAS will not hold her back, and she will once again rise above and continue to inspire young women, according to her, and athletes in South Africa and around the world. That's why we leave it on sports news. I'm out to be back this month.
And the main news again, the federal government today recommitted to fully implementing the new national minimum wage, even as the NLC president, Ayuba Waba, decried the rising unemployment rate and poor electricity supply in the country. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Happy May Day again. Good night.